Earlier today, I was listening to Obsidian's Hangout, and on this Hangout, Taz Exclusives was on there. Taz is always very controversial in Black YouTube Hangouts. His presence is always known. He has a very distinct voice. He says something a little bit interesting when we're talking about the Pookie and the Ray Ray versus the educated lame debates. He says, man, this negative energy doesn't come from the Pookie and Ray Ray side. I mean, you guys feel that you are better than people like me. If I ever try to say, I'm a good black man, or I want to, people will remind you, you were felon, you've been to jail, you had certain issues. That made me think about today's episode. As we are trying to help black men in all facets. Some of us in the black manosphere have been called elitists. Especially me and my Negro manosphere crew of the black manosphere. We've been called elitists. Everyone knows Rom has a master's degree. Alan Roger Curry was one of the top students in his class in economics, and Tony Maceo has a master's in economics. I'm getting ready to have an MD in 2020. And when we created NegroManosphere.com, it is said that it was created for professional black men. And they're right. It was created for professional black men. It was not created for brothers who were coming out of prison. It wasn't created for brothers who were coming into the market that had felonies. But then I thought about what disservice I have done to brothers who do not think like me, who have had a different experience than me, and for black men that we have turned our nose up at to a certain degree. I've thought about that, and I'm here to say, how long can the Pookie and the Ray Ray against the black educated elite class, how much longer will we fight? And I'm not an elite person. I think maybe I'm on my way to being there one day, but how much longer are we going to be at odds? I want to talk about this woman in Dallas who was beaten by the Sheffield guy. And some of the brothers pointed out that none of the top black feminists or black female organizations came to her defense. Where are these black Me Too people at when this black woman gets beat by a white man? They're always complaining about black men, but when this black woman gets beat by white men, where are they? And I took a swipe at that question. I said, well, if you look at this young lady, and I don't recall her name, she's from the hood. She's what one would consider ghetto. She's tattooed. She's poorly spoken. She's what one might think a lower class black woman. And those black women who are in the elite do not want to stick up for her because she doesn't make the cut. She's not one of them. Okay? They turn their nose up at women like her because she's not a part of the crew. And do you know what? Such situations happen with us. When black men have been beat by the police, or they have done nothing and been attacked, we are quick to look at their criminal record. And then we will be able to say, well, 3 or 4 years ago, he stole a car. Although what he's dealing with right now has nothing to do with that. We're looking for any way to discredit the brother because he is not a person with a degree. He is not a person that went to law school. He did not go to medical school. He did not go to pharmacy school. And he doesn't have an MBA from Harvard, or he didn't go to Georgia Tech. Shout out to my brother Black Heights. He doesn't have a passport. He's never been to Africa. He's not in the elite travel miles club like some of us. So because he's not one of us, something must be wrong with him. And then what happens is when you allow the other half of yourself to be treated like that, then they do. And then you think, well, it's not me. I have education. I don't have those problems with the police. They don't bother me. And then when that happens, it's easier to separate black men from working together. And what I want to say is, how many brothers are we turning off that we could be working together? A lot of these brothers have turned their life around. Some of them haven't. We understand that. We understand recidivism rates. But let's look at what we've been seeing on YouTube. A lot of these brothers have turned to make a whole prison culture industry, and they're getting paid from it. And one of the reasons why they can do that is because they know we can't go back to the elite brothers who look down upon us and do things with them because they think that they're better than us. And we have to admit, a lot of us do think and feel we are better than other black men because we went to Howard University, or we went to UC Davis, or we went and got an MD, or we went and got a diploma. We can speak the King's English. We have a 125 IQ score. We have $200,000-$300,000 in the bank. We've been to 30 countries. We have businesses internationally. We look down on the other brothers, but we have no unity. And the reason why black men will fail, because if the lowest of us is being mistreated and we don't allow, or we allow other brothers out there who are doing the right thing, I'm not saying stand up for whatever reason that it is, but if we allow brothers who are doing worse than us, that we are not trying to help and pull up as a group of black men, the problem is we will always be behind. Hispanic communities, they're looking out for the worst of their people, to the best of their people. We have to unify. Just like in the Rwanda situation, Paul Kagame unified a tribe of people who had just got through killing each other. 1 million Tutsis slaughtered. He unified that tribalism in that country. And that's something that we ain't never dealt with, nothing like that. Pookies and Ray Rays and educated black men. Listen, we have never had issues like that. But brother, we have to pick up the skill sets from one another. And both of us have things to offer each other. The brothers who are more street savvy, a lot of those brothers are getting into trades. They're getting into, the business of music. They're getting into certain industries, and they're working hard. They're doing what they need to do. And just because they have had a bad problem here or there, we have to work with black men. Because the fact of the matter is that the greater society looks at the lower tier black men. If somebody says that you did this or that, and the higher tier black man, especially if you're a heterosexual one, you're going to get the same treatment. Just because you have a degree from Harvard, that don't mean some white guy wants to see you in his neighborhood. To some people, a lot of people, you're still going to be a nigga no matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter. They don't want nothing to do with you. And see, as a group of brothers, we need to understand that. And all that we have as a group of black men in America is each other. We need to stop this beef. We can call each other out and we can do this and do that, but we cannot make other black men feel that they are dumb, to feel that they are beneath us because we have a little bit of education and we went to a school or whatever. Listen, man, we cannot be in a position to make black men feel bad for whatever mistakes that they've made. If they have served their debts to society, one place they should be able to come and get some help is from you. If you are a black man and a brother has made some mistakes, the most willing people that should be forgiving of him is you, because the world will never forgive him. For many people, he's already the wrong skin color. But you have the audacity to look down on him? How? He's a part of your group, whether you like it or not. And you are not going to get anything from people like that have skills, people who have mistakes. Once you start talking down to them, and, because he's a felon, that don't mean that the brother ain't a millionaire. That don't mean that the brother don't have a good idea. That don't mean that he don't have connections. But when you start talking down on people and acting like you're better, we cannot have that approach. We need as many black men on the same page, whether they have had problems before or not. And we need those two groups to talk to each other and to help each other. Because just like educated brothers have something to contribute, we have something to contribute to. They have something to contribute to us also. And we got to stop beating ourselves. We need to unify our brotherhood. The elitism, I understand it. You want to be around people like yourself. I get it. Certain brothers you will never hang around with, and certain on their side, it's a lot of us they would never want to fuck with. Trust me. The last thing they want to do is be around some elitist ass black Negroes. Trust me. I know we do have some in our camp, but that don't mean that we can't work together. Because the laws are still against the elitist brothers as well as they are against the brothers out of the prison. Feminism is still against the elitist brother as well as the other brother that's got in the prison or with the jail record. We still are facing some of the same exact circumstances there every day. And let's not act like some of our family ain't in jail, ain't in prison. Right? We have family members that are still there. Wouldn't you want somebody to give them a chance? Help them start a business, to help them. So look at who you're talking to. Look at who you're talking about. So that's all I got to say. What do you brothers think about this? As you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Hope you gain something from this, brothers. I'm out.